Representative Rick Staples hoping to earn a third term in Nashville.
I'm known from Knoxville to Farragut because I'm always at something. It used to be joke about me that I'm in the only person that's in three places at one time. And then I've done a lot to work with organizations and institutions here to make sure that they get support from the state level. So, and then also people have experience from different walks, from the Department of Labor Commissioner being here to the Agriculture Department Commissioner being here. I brought state government to the city of Knoxville. So I know that I'm known, but I have to remind people the things I've accomplished, the money we've sown into Knoxville from the state, and meaningful legislation from teenage suicide to the Juwan Latham Act, to creating a mechanism to test lead levels in drinking and cooking water for our kids.
Sam McKenzie thinks the district could be better represented.
I've had a lifetime of service, and to be quite honest, there's a lot going on within the 15th district. A whole lot of things were happening that I just didn't agree with, both things that made headlines, but also a lot of legislation that just really didn't, in my opinion, represent or serve the people of the 15th district very well. So, I said I can sit around and complain, or I could get started. I could get involved and just say I can do better. And that's the bottom line why I'm running.
Matthew Park also wanting to bring change to Nashville.
I've focused the last decade of my professional life on making healthcare cheaper with technology, specifically things like artificial intelligence and automation. And I want to take that same experience into the State House. My little brother was a victim of the school to prison pipeline. So I've spent the last 13 to 14 years dealing with the criminal justice system. And that's what led me down the path to become an advocate for wholesale transform of the justice system, from policing to prisons to how we sentence people and how we charge people with crimes. I've worked in several nonprofits with foster parents. I've worked in Children's Hospital and a lot of places that have made me see the real inequity and disparity that's happening in our communities across the state. And I'm running because I want to repair those disparities.
Park feels it's priorities like those that make him a better fit for the voters in the 15th district.
Right now, our district is one of the most progressive districts in the state. Could be the most progressive, depending on how you ask the questions. Right now, we're represented by a very conservative Democrat. I think that it's one about saying we want real progress. We want a clarion voice for a progressive vision representing a progressive district. It's also about saying there are very few advocates for a progressive vision in the state legislature today.
Staples takes pride in a more moderate approach.
You have to have an East Tennessee, Knox County way of trying to represent this area and to make sure that we get our slice of the pie in Nashville. And let's just face it, Knox County is a moderate town. We're about the person. We're about the people. We're not about a nationalistic agenda. We're not about a particular party. We're about what's best for Knox County, what's best for the city of Knoxville. And that comes from her people.
If elected, McKenzie planning to offer a different set of goals.
If you look at successful legislation, I would not put forth online sports gambling bill. I don't think that really is representative of what's needed in the 15th district. I'd also, I would push toward education, toward true increased funding for our educators and the educational program. That would be one of my main points of emphasis. And I've said over and over, health is wealth. A healthy body, a healthy mind creates a healthy environment and a healthy district and state. So I'd also push for full expansion of Medicaid.
Park also wanting to rethink state funding on things like education.
We need to actually pay teachers a pay raise. Teachers have had a salary decrease in the last 10 years when you account for inflation of about 4%. So we actually need to give teachers a real raise. And we need to pass a Tennessee Green New Deal. Our neighborhoods and communities are facing pollution disparities. Black and brown communities breathe about 50% more pollution than white and affluent communities. So we have to pass a Green New Deal. We have to create a Tennessee Conservation Corps in order to provide living wage jobs coming out of this pandemic, but also to build good green infrastructure and repair our current aging and falling apart infrastructure.
Staples pledging to focus on helping those hurt by the coronavirus pandemic.
We have to make sure we're protecting and strengthening our businesses. How do we do that? We have to pull dollars together to aim at a small, big city like Knoxville to take care of our entrepreneurs. One. Two, we're going to have to put protections in place for our public schools. Our public schools, as we're considering if our kids are going to come back, our school systems do not have the resources to get disinfected and what they need to clean their classrooms and keep them safe for our children.
It's the most competitive primary in our region, and we'll have a winner in fewer than 3 weeks.
I've been involved longer than a few months before I picked up the petition. It really is about true service. So I would just encourage that voter who maybe not been involved and don't know everything that's going on to spend a few hours. It won't take long to try to dig in and see who the true candidate is that's done the work that will represent the district in an honest and effective way.